All right, everyone, welcome to Central Coast Disc Golf. This is round 2, part 1 of the Innova Blue Ridge Championship at North Cove Disc Golf and Leisure Club. I am your host, Nate Perkins, and I'm joined here today with Connor O'Reilly. Connor, is a pretty controversial course here, the Gorge.
No doubt, Nate. Happy to be here with you, my friend. And yeah, this course has been definitely creating some excitement and some agony for some of these players. Keep it clean, keep it inbound, score the birdies that you feel good about, and you can put yourself well ahead of everyone who's trying to press too hard. Walk us through hole 1.
Well, the biggest challenge today, I think, is going to be the shift in the wind. So pretty much all week, the wind was coming up the south. And today was the first day that it's from the north, and it's only 4 miles per hour.
But here it feels like more.
Welcome to day 2. We are live on T-Pad 1. This is our lead card for day 2 for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Silver Series Innova Blue Ridge Championship at North Cove.
And here on hole 1, you're throwing from out of bounds. The hazard is all around the pin. You could see the pin tucked in between the sidewalk.
Yeah, and you might say, oh, a little bit of a wind shift. Nate says it's only playing 4 miles per hour. Up here in the mountains, it seems to definitely play much more than the forecast shows. And with landing zones as specific as these, you guys, not having this wind in practice makes it a lot harder to trust some of these shots.
And Kyle going MD3 here. So this hole kind of faces southeast, so it's kind of a tailwind left to right here on the first.
Welcome to T-Pad 1, James Proctor.
Excited to watch James. He's been having an amazing season. His first real full-time touring year, right?
Yeah, last year he hit most of the tour, but he didn't quit his job as a special ed teacher until midway through the season. And I think that is one of the reasons why he's really hitting his stride this year.
Welcome to T-Pad 1, Benjamin Callaway.
And yeah, James is having a great season. He actually has the second best average finish this season at 7.4.
Yeah, he seems like he's been staying in that top 10 very steady. Ben doesn't get the ground action. If you land anywhere right of that cart path, you guys, the ground is so sticky. You don't.
Lead card. Welcome to T-Pad 1, Isaac Robinson.
You just don't often see them get back in bounds if you land over there. And we know if there's a straight shot available, Isaac Robinson's going to be taking it. That kind of signature pump of his, always fun to watch.
And he's going a little bit faster here.
Just finds that hazard long. But that's a pretty open putting window, and we know how lethal he can be.
Oh, 40-footer to a head, right to left. Clean hyzer release there from Kyle.
Ooh, Ben lasers that one into the chains. Understands he kind of has a built-in backdrop with these boulders, can really send it there.
So Ben has actually been having a tough time this season, and he was not playing well at Music City, and then, he actually withdrew from the event. There was quite a bit of mud out there. He decided that it wasn't worth the risk, and I actually heard that a lot of people were upset with him for that decision, but it seems to have paid off. He finds himself on the lead card for this second round.
Yeah, he was definitely able to dial it in with some extra practice on a course where that can really make a big difference. Maybe he did get to see this wind at some point and the rest of the competitors didn't. Hole 2, as beautiful as it is challenging, we have this mandatory keeping us flying over the river here. Most right-handed players are looking to flex something slightly overstable over to the right with the nose up and have it fade late, checking into this hillside green. Out of bounds isn't more than maybe 30 feet long, and it tucks in pretty close on the right, and then on that left side, if you slip over 15 feet, you're gone. We've had this goose hanging out all week right over here by hole 2. Just, I don't know if he's snacking on the snails or what, but his company is welcome.
Oh,
what?
What a reaction for Kyle. I mean, that tree is actually out of bounds, so if he hits that and kicks left, he's likely forced to re-tee.
Every disc that I've seen hit that tree this weekend has had bad fortune, but Kyle getting that lead card love, and James just doesn't get that nose up like I talked about. You really have to get it turned as well as the nose up, unless you're going to throw a buzz like Ben here and go mid-range on it, showing that power that he has.
390 feet, guys.
And he goes long. Oh my gosh. That is some of the smooth power out of Ben Callaway. Impressive, even though he's out of bounds.
That's 440 feet.
Isaac gets a better nose angle there. This one
that
should
needs to
check
get down
up
as well.
Yeah. Wow.
No. Man, it's there's a gentle tailwind at their back, and I noticed that it was much harder to get the disc to check up here on the second.
Yeah, we had been playing into that little bit of a headwind all week, so maybe most of these players sticking with that same disc they've been throwing and needing to make an adjustment possibly. And James had been formerly on Team Innova playing for Clash discs this year, so you'll see him throwing a mixed bag. I believe he's putting with the alpacas from Infinite.
Wow.
2 for 2, laser putts.
Another putt from distance for his par. Ooh, just barely getting that nose up into that headwind.
If you've never watched Isaac Robinson, I'm sure you have, but definitely one of the fastest paced players on tour, so hopefully we can get all his shots in there and he gives the camera guys a chance. Oh, look at that form from Ben Callaway as he's throwing mid-range 440, you guys. Ben takes care of himself and it shows.
And hole 3's given this field a lot of trouble just for how, short of a par 4 it is. Only 564. You're really only looking to throw it 300 feet on this first shot and clear this ditch. Anything left of the sidewalk and you're headed to a drop zone. And then you have 240 feet of out of bounds to clear on your way to this sand trap. Basket is just 12 feet from the OB on the short side.
Yeah, at this distance, if you don't put any out of bounds here, this hole probably plays an entire stroke under par, but the way this out of bounds lines it's making it tricky and not as routine of a birdie as the distance might show. And as you see, this little wind flip, these guys are playing back into the headwind here and not quite able to find the angles yet. James is a predominantly backhand player, but he definitely has a good hyzer forehand. He really likes that hyzer release, I've noticed, when he does bust out the forehand, but almost gets the kiss off the rock, but just doesn't quite. Can Isaac redeem the card?
It's got a bite. Oh yeah, great spot. This is 240-foot approach right here, and it's into a right to left wind, which again these players have not really seen all week.
And if you're going for the right side of this green, it's not much bigger than the bullseye, but Isaac sticks it. He's going to be rewarded.
Similar distance here, around 240 feet from the drop zone. And Kyle's going to leave himself a circle's edge putt once again for his par.
Ben leaks out to a similar spot, but we've seen him make good on 2 of those putts already.
Yeah, they've both been for par.
James comes up just short, but gets the slide, and that one was probably scary for him.
Climbs in.
Kyle Klein, Kyle Clean. There's a lot of stamp ideas for Kyle, and hopefully he's taking advantage of some of that.
First missed putt we've seen from Ben, and Isaac grabbing the lone birdie here. How'd this one play, Connor?
This one actually played under par, but only 0.03 of a stroke, so definitely gave enough of the field some fits. It almost caps you out at a double bogey, though, with the progressive drop zones. You can definitely take worse, but it's kind of hard to do.
Well, that foil kind of
FX5
reflects the
there.
sun back into his
Yeah.
face. You ever blind yourself?
Oh,
with
there's
with
definitely
the
been
putter?
times, where I'm lining up the putt. I kind of like to hold my putter in front of my face before I go, so sometimes it can be to your detriment.
I definitely did that at the Memorial once. Just totally blinded myself, and luckily the putt went in.
Brought you back to your intuitive state, hopefully.
This looks perfect. Off the basket. Now it's rolling. It's headed for the OB. This needs to sit. Oh my goodness. It's safe. Right on the line. She's going to have about a 30-foot putt for the win. Okay, here we go. The putt is up. Boom. It's in. Strong side with authority. What an incredible moment. Yes.
Hole 4 is definitely unique to the rest of the course. This one, very little out of bounds compared to the OB-laden rest of the track. There is a road up here to the right that's really hard to find that could give you some trouble, but really just looking to move a disc gently from the left to the right through this gap and really get up there as close as you can. If you can get past this boulder, you're really happy. If not, you might have to make a lofty putt over it. This one actually played as the easiest hole on the course today, so let's see how this lead card fares.
Love it.
Oh yeah. Just drawing that one in from left to right. And somehow the wind is finding its way up this little path.
Ooh, Kyle throws another great shot. Him and Isaac have some of the better spots you can find on this hole there.
And you could see Kyle's fairway, just resisting the turn enough at the end of the flight to kind of hit flat, as well as James right there. Any more turn than that, and those discs are going to kind of hit and roll back down the hill.
Ben going with that same buzz again. Looks like he just overturns it. But that's a very fortunate kiss to finish straight there. One of those holes that every player here could reach it with the mid-range, but I think that just the way you need to force that edge over and have it hold, the fairway seems to be an easier option. Plus, going long is a welcome miss here, and great putt from James. Uphill stance, no problem. And that wind already, it looked like it flipped up on them during the hole. It was kind of coming off the hill, and now it's coming up the hill. Definitely was a little bit swirly out there today. It definitely changed directions a few times. And there is a look at that hole average. Playing .21 under par, as we see 3 of our 4 card mates grab it.
Hey, you notice how James's putter is like vertical as he pulls it down? Kind of like Adam Hemis.
Mm-hmm. Both really solid putters, something to note for sure.
All right, hole 5. You have this sycamore that is just, you can almost reach out and touch the tree, and we've seen this first gap kind of get into the mind of the players, and you need about 330 to 350 off the tee. Fairways maybe 50 feet from left to right, and then there are 2 main gaps as you approach this green, both about 20 feet wide, and that right side of the green slopes severely down toward the OB.
Oh, Isaac, does he get the roll up? Yes, he does.
And Connor, we've heard a lot of players mention that, one of the difficult aspects of the gorge is that you can't quite see where all the out of bounds like starts and stops.
Yeah, this hole does have these boulders that do help you kind of use your depth perception skills to really dial in the spots, but a lot of this course, it's just a line on the ground, and when you're hundreds of feet away, you kind of know where it is, but you can't exactly pinpoint it, and that's just adding another layer of difficulty to an already brutal course. This one looks a bit high from Proctor, but wide enough it should catch the hill. Yeah. And like Nate said, there's 2 gaps coming into this green. I haven't seen anyone choose the left gap yet, but I've also only played with a select few players, so I'm sure it's been utilized. Most of these players looking to get into that right side gap, though. Either way, it's good to have options.
Yeah, right around there looks good. But yeah, no, take your shot. Yeah. Oh, I'm just confused.
All right, they've given Kyle a lie pretty far back. He looks like he's playing something pretty conservative, not necessarily trying to press for this one, understanding that just eating that single bogey will bode well for him and staying in control.
Touchy little approach here.
This is one of those approaches that normally would be very easy at the range these players are playing it from, but there's just a couple like low tickling branches at the beginning of the gap that make you kind of play it a little firmer than you'd like to at that range. Usually you want to kind of float it in, and Ben said, I'll show you that left side, Connor.
Oh, and that's just floating in the tailwind.
Wow. Yeah, also that out of bounds is only 30 feet long. Definitely creeps into the circle, and that's a common theme out here. out of bounds is assailing our circle one. Great touch from Proctor coming into the green. Yeah, James also has a very unique way of really pre-cocking and loading that backhand. Really has that wrist angled down to help drive the nose angle.
Oh, straight death putt there for Isaac. That's 3 in a row to get him back under par. And Ben with another 33-foot headwind putt, and he makes good on it.
Ben finally able to get that first birdie of the round.
I think Ben has already looked at 150 feet of putting so far this round, and he missed a couple, but he's also made 3 really confident-looking putts.
Yeah, good for him to finally get a good score to show from it. Definitely been putting strong so far. And hole 5 played right in the middle of the pack, just over par. Thing of beauty from Isaac Robinson, just clears that last nub, finds the chains.
Hole 6, it is one of the mini hill rollaway potential here, Connor. It doesn't look menacing. It's 272 feet, but there's out of bounds everywhere. And if you miss this drive, you actually go to a drop zone right at 40 feet. And it's one of those distances where you just got to run it. And then you could potentially roll away again.
Yeah, it's very enticing at the range it's at, but that steep slope really drops off to the left quickly.
And the ideal backhand tee shot is really just a flat shot that hits the front side of that hill and slows it down. James leaves that one right outside the circle, and we could hear him say, well, that's a fun putt.
James always is a fun player to play with, keeps it very light regardless of how he's playing. But I guess it's easy to do when you're just dropping top 10s all the time.
Nice.
Kyle puts that one up there well inside the circle and gonna have a good chance at birdie.
Yeah, Connor, James is... just stays
jump
in.
Back.
So James Proctor's best cash last year was 15th at USDGC for around 1,100, and he hasn't cashed for less than that this year.
Very impressive.
He's already cashed for 8,000 on the season.
Yeah, and the field is as strong as ever. Last year our fields were strong, you guys, but they've even really solidified themselves more this season.
And the unfortunate 3-putt there from Proctor, and another nice stroke from Callaway. He's been impressive so far. You know that it takes a lot of mental energy to continue to stay focused on these sketchy putts.
Absolutely, this course definitely wears on that mental energy tank, and you better have it filled up. You better have had your breakfast, your coffee, whatever you need, because this course will test you. Look at that little half swing out of Kyle, didn't extend the reach back, knows he just needs to get that 280 feet or so. Staring that thing down until it's done. And a quick check-in on that leaderboard. Kyle still holding on to that lead. Isaac Robinson, Harper Thompson, one back, and a number of players hanging 2 strokes away. Nate, we'll let you do this one again, and then I'll get back to my evens.
And it's a par 4 headed up into the woods and a very specific landing zone here. You're trying to land your disc basically on, a trail that's 8 feet wide, and if you hyzer out early, you're going to be short of these boulders, and you have to get creative with something up high. There are a lot of guardian trees and some more boulders on your way to this green, and yeah, we've seen a lot of different ways to attack this one. Some are playing it more conservative, and
It's like a mid out of Isaac.
Isaac just doesn't get that one to turn at the top of its flight. It's pretty bad over there. Early left.
Yeah, no doubt. He's going to have quite a few trees to contend with and no real clean lines.
Oh, and Ben also just not getting the drift he was looking for at the top of that fairway's flight.
Yeah, they have some wind coming off the left shoulder here, so maybe assuming that's going to do more than it has. And
So
Kyle.
Kyle's going Nordic phenom here and kind of approaching things different. Isaac and Ben tried to drift it to the landing zone, and Kyle kind of forced it over there.
James going with that cookie maybe?
I think this is a 12-speed driver.
Okay, he's going aggressive. Yeah, this one, if you go fast disc, you can definitely clear that last big boulder, and that's one of the big challenges. You kind of throw your shot here, understanding you'll probably have some kind of scramble in, but if you can clear that last boulder, it gets a lot cleaner.
And that was huge from James. Probably the biggest drive I've seen thus far.
You see an overhand out of Isaac Robinson. That just shows you how pinched it is over here, and we're going to see a flex forehand out of Callaway. Gives himself the opportunity. Kyle decides his best option is to turn his back to the basket, lean out, double checks that his lie is good with his card mates. Honor in the game. And does not pay off.
Yeah, tough stance. Little flex forehand with the tactic here. And he did not like it out of his hand, but finds a gap.
James, squeezes it through. Should be able to clean up that birdie there. Great putt there from Ben.
Yeah, nice little scramble birdie. Does that mean Isaac's up here too?
Yeah, Isaac pitched. He's taking par. He
Okay.
pitched up that Annie putt from the right side.
Yeah.
Oh, takes no time.
No time.
Whacks it in the middle there. Has to.
Just so relaxed in the upper body when he
Yeah,
putts.
for real. James also plays that one quickly. Looks like maybe a mind bender on the forehand there, just playing a finesse straight shot. Ben having to go to the straddle on this rocky green. Right on the stripe. Ben's been letting that hair go this year, starting to get the flow. In hole 8, 2 gaps off the tee. You can take this wide one, or you can play it inside if you want to really try to move the disc right. Out of this card, we'll probably see a couple forehands and a couple turnover backhand mid-rangers, I would say. The aggressive roller can also get you up into a good spot. Woodline on the left is out of bounds, and this out of bounds right kind of pinches in right here. But then it bubbles at the top of the hill, and you have a lot of space off to the right. You got to position yourself coming into this gap where you can play something that just gently moves from the right to left, but not too fast. And Ideally, you check up just on the right side of the screen and kind of skitter down.
Here's that same buzz. This is a technical shot to get this one to drift and land flat. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really fun shot to throw and beautiful one to watch. That's a great spot from Ben. He'll have a sight line to the basket. Looks like that mind bender again out of James. Plays a little bit straighter.
It kind of pinches the angle off a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to filter through some more trees and have a much narrower approach gap. Isaac showing the accuracy, takes the inside gap on the turnover. Really trying to get it off to the right. Test that out of bounds line. He does so well.
Yeah, you only need like 330 to 350 off this tee. Kyle going MD3.
4 for 4 backhand turnover from this card. 3 of them off to the right. James going to have a little bit more work to do.
And this shot that sends about 20 feet from fairway to green. And there is just out of bounds kind of looming in the wood line over there, and Isaac finds it.
Yeah, you really got to test that stand of like 3 or 4 4 trees there on the right that you can see, and anything that misses or hits them really wants to filter to that out of bounds using gravity, and James also finds the out of bounds. This can be a frustrating one. It feels really right in front of you when you throw the tee shot how you want, but the way this slope pulls you down, it can really cause some trouble. Kyle, does he get the love? Wow, he does. Playing that counterclockwise spin gives him the kick that he needs, and Ben just squeezes through those trees. That was scary.
Not the line he was really intending, but he'll have a downhill putt coming up.
It's always impressive to see how far Isaac can jump putt the disc. I've seen him jump putt like 150, 180 feet before, I feel like. James is in as thick of a spot as you can find on this green. Almost able to make good.
Oh, yeah. He's well over 200 feet of putting today.
Yeah, and there's 4 in a row for Mr. Callaway. That putt is carrying him through the round for sure, and that glow buzz is doing work.
Third of the field taking birdie here on the 8th.
Yeah, 3rd easiest hole on the course today.
Wow.
That out of bounds on the
Bit
left,
of a
though.
shock.
Definitely stole a few strokes for sure.
Ben Callaway actually has a 6-year-old little girl, Ruby, and his wife Sarah are back home watching. Ruby's just now old enough to really watch and understand that her dad is out there playing this sport for a living.
I got a lot of respect for Ben.
He's been doing this a long time too, Connor. But this is just his 2nd season where he's really playing full time. And here we are on the first of 2 highly demanding par 3s. Just under 500 feet. OB looming on the woods in the left. OB on the sidewalk to the right. Does it stay?
Oh, just
No
slides
way.
its
All
way
the
down,
way
wow.
across.
And shout out to the spotter. Looks like he's kind of following the lead card around and just spotting every hole for them. That's pretty cool. They're getting the treatment. Kyle gets into the hillside. And that's going to be a kind of scary putting angle. but he knows he's got to run everything. He's in the mix, and he has been our leader up to this point.
Oh my God, where are you going?
So James just going Thunderbird here, playing this one for par, and back-to-back fatal mistakes for Proctor, turning that one over, and that's just instant bogey.
Oh, he saw the green flag, but I'm not sure if that was correct. Spotter has a better angle than us, though. And Isaac just going mid-range here, making sure he can't fade too much and he can release it on a number of angles successfully. Very smart play for Isaac. This one, you really do have to hit kind of a distance flex to get to this one. 496 plays slightly uphill. Takes a very specific shot to give yourself a look here. And you've got these little seed balls on the green to watch out for too, so you gotta make sure to clear your footing.
Oh,
If you've ever played on those little guys, you know they can be slippery and catch you when you're least expecting it. Oh, come on, sit down, disc. Don't do that.
oh gosh.
This course can
almost
just
a
be
replay.
malicious sometimes.
That's a quick bogey for Kyle after a beautiful drive.
Proctor cashes
Okay, so
in
like-
for par. He did stay in
I
bounds.
guess he did stay.
That was a nervy par putt, especially after messing up the safe play. There's a lot of pressure on that putt. Pin capping off a pretty strong front nine with a bogey.
At just 2% of the field card and birdie. Who do we got to give a shout out to?
Hole 9. Played .77 over par. And we had birdies coming from Justin Rozak, who I played with. So shout out to you, Justin. Great drive, nice putt. Randon Latta and Benjamin Bergamy. So good on you guys.
Nice looking slow-mo there of Kyle Klein's Cloudbreaker shot. 460 feet right to the front of the circle. And we can see just why the gorge is playing so hard. I mean,
You almost
you gotta
can't
be
play
on
an OB
point.
free round out here. It's like it's
No.
one of those courses. Like it could happen. Obviously, it's in the realm of mathematical possibility, but it just feels really hard to do.
Right, Bradley Williams setting the pace on the front nine. 5 under. Albert Tom 4 under. And thank you guys for joining us on this Central Coast Disc Golf production of the Innova Blue Ridge Championship from Nate Perkins and Connor O'Reilly. We will see you soon for part 2.